evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Central Falls City Council meeting. We do have a forum. I want to say welcome council members back. We had them on the road. So with that, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilperson Baena. Councilperson Kazarian. Here. Councilperson Lavasser. Councilperson Figueroa.
Here.
Councilperson Rosado Martinez. Councilperson Solano. Present. Council President Ferry.
Present.
Council President, we have quorum.
Thank you. All please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is item 3, public comment. I believe we have Mr. R.J. Kermes.
Yes.
Council President,
Good evening,
City Council. I normally wouldn't take time in public comment, but I wanted to ensure I could get this comment in right up the top of the meeting. With the council's approval of the mayor's budget, we funded funds for interpreting services for public meetings, including council meetings. Starting today, Oscar will be here. And the procedure will be that if interpreting services are needed, any member of council can prompt Oscar, as well as any member of the audience or any constituent that's here. And ordinance requires that all city council meetings conclude by 8 p.m. Oscar is here for 2 hours, so it lines up perfectly from a timing standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda under 4 is approval of records, meeting minutes from July 8th, 2024 council meeting.
Has all reviewed the minutes of the meetings?
Yes, there's two of that, by the way, that we actually approved.
Yes, there's also one for August. I'm sorry, July 31st.
Yes.
I want to make motion to approve collectively.
Collectively.
I just have one, I'm sorry, I have one amendment. It was a motion that we passed unanimously. We didn't use the word unanimously, we just put that as passed. I had it all circled and now I think, okay. No big thing, but it was passed unanimously. It was the, that we unanimously rejected a claim regarding a door. Is that right?
Yes, I'll happily make that.
Yeah, the vote was unanimously denying it.
Got it.
It's on page 4 of 5.
So we have a motion from Councilman Solano to approve with the amendments.
Including the amendment. All those in favor signify by saying
We need a
aye.
second. We need a second.
I'll second that, Council President.
Okay. With that, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Next item on the agenda under item 5 is executive communication. It is consideration of appointment by Mayor Maria Rivera of Maita Geraldo, 74 Summit Street, Central Falls, to the Personnel Board.
Council President, Mr. Geraldo intended to be here today, but other commitments came up at the last moment. But I am happy to speak on her behalf. I think everybody knows Representative Geraldo, one of my predecessors as Chief of Staff. Both myself and Lisa from the HR department strongly believe that Maita would be a strong representative on the Personnel Board.
Thank you.
Has everyone read the resume?
Yes, I did.
Clerk, please call the roll.
We gotta make a motion.
To approve, looking for a
I'll make the
motion.
motion.
Second.
Kevin,
Yes, I make the motion.
roll call vote.
Councilman Kazarian.
Yes.
Council Councilperson Figueroa,
Yes.
Councilperson Solano,
Yes.
Council President Ferry,
Yes.
motion passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Next item under 5B, consideration of reappointment of by Mayor Maria Rivera of James J. Lombardi III, 7 Indigo Farm Road, North Smithfield, Rhode Island, to Chair of the Wyatt Detention Center Board.
News President, members of the council.
Good afternoon. Good to see you.
Would you want me to?
No, I think your resume speaks for itself, what I've read. I don't know, any other council members have any concerns regarding such. It's a reappointment.
Yes, I also agree, I think your statement, I just, the same question that I always have, as you as the president of the board of the White Detention Facility, we still waiting to have some resale on the facility to us, and we haven't, still waiting for that. I'll let them know if you have some.
Sure,
feedback on that.
So,
Sorry.
when I came on the Wyatt approximately 5 years ago, there were obviously a lot of problems. We've resolved the majority of these problems one at a time. Financially, we're in good shape. Legally, we're not closed down, there's no receiver, there's nothing like that that's going on. My last thing that I wanna do before I leave, and I appreciate if you could reappoint me so I can finish this, is to resolve the litigation. And the litigation is very close to being resolved. I can guarantee you one of the things that will be resolved in that litigation moving forward is a payment to the city. And that's something that I've been fighting for from day one. We have got you we've tried to, as much as we could, get you certain payments and different things. I think we paid $50,000. We donated some equipment. I understand that's a drop in the bucket, but I want you to know my commitment in doing that. And we'll continue to do that. There will not be an agreement without a sizable payment to the city. Like I said.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Good.
And when do you think that the litigation will be over?
Councilman, as the matters in litigation, we're happy to talk about this in executive session.
Thank you.
but not
Yeah, you're right.
before. Okay.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I want to make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
Motion by Councilman Solano to approve, is there a second? Second by Councilman Figueroa. Roll call vote.
Councilperson Kazarian,
Yes.
Councilperson Figueroa,
Yes.
Councilperson Rosado Martinez,
Yes.
Councilperson Solano,
Yes,
Council President Ferry,
Yes.
motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
thank you so much for what you've been doing and the fighting you have with them, and then we discussed that in private. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council President, I'd like to acknowledge that Councilperson Rosado Martinez arrived at 6:10 p.m.
So,
Next item on the agenda, under item C, is consideration of appointment by Mayor Maria Rivera of Lisa Diaz as acting human resource director for the city of Central Falls, effective July 26, 2022.
While I'm not a lawyer, my understanding from the city solicitor is that this is an executive order, and therefore it's simply an executive communication, so there's no vote to be taken on this at this time. But just to provide context, per the charter, section 2-48 gives the mayor power to appoint an acting head of the department for a period of no longer than 90 days. The mayor has complete confidence in Lisa, I believe is here tonight, to act in the acting capacity during that time period. You will note in your packet that it was effective as of July 26th, meaning that we're still within the 90-day window. But I can report to the council that the shared service position, because this is shared between here and North Providence, we have been actively interviewing multiple candidates, including an joint interview the mayor had today with Mayor Lombardi. So we are moving with haste to fill this open position. So with concurrence from the city solicitor, I don't believe this is something that's voted on, but I still wanted to provide the council with an update.
Thank you for the information.
The same update can be, well, do you move on to the next?
Next item is D, consideration of appointment by Mayor Maria Rivera Louis Aponte is acting Department of Public Works and Code Enforcement Director for the City of Central Falls, effective August 23rd, 2020.
Similar to what I just said, this is not some this is executive communication. The same charter section that I cited is applicable here. This position was vacated more recently than the HR position, but we have, it's actually not an open position we have filled in the last 10 years or so, so we didn't have a job description on record. So we are working with some of our neighboring municipalities to look at best practices for what they posted around these things. I've been in contact with one of my predecessors, Tracy Jerome, over in Kentucky, because they've hired for a similar position. To be clear, not to steal anybody they have, but to look at the language that they've used to describe this role. Lisa and I have been meeting about the posting of this position. We intend to have it posted very soon. Like I said, this was vacated more recently than the HR position. And it is the mayor's stated intention to have an open and competitive application process for this position, so that the city has afforded several applicants to the mayor to decide. Thank you.
Like you said you're not a lawyer, but you play one on TV.
That's exactly right, Council President.
So consideration C and D, so moved.
Next item is under, it's item E, Department of Financial Reports, July 2024 and August 2024 for City Clerk's Office, Finance Department, Central Falls Police Department, Central Falls Fire Department, and Department of Public Works.
Has everyone adjusted what was in there? Can we look for motion to approve collectively?
I'd like, Council President, to have, historically, on a quarterly basis, we do have Mary come to deliver a grants report, which is included in this. Mary's on vacation this week, but I thought it was appropriate, given we're thankful for the council deciding to fund Derek Calamati's position in full for the city, for him to provide more details on the grants report.
When I see Kevin here, I feel like there's something coming up.
That's good.
Something good's coming up, so welcome aboard.
I don't know about that. Good evening, council. How are you?
Good evening.
I'm sorry if I look exceptionally disheveled. About 30 minutes ago, I was in golf attire because I was at a golf tournament today. So I just got ready in the back.
Kevin, you always look your show.
Thank you. Thanks. Unlike yourself. So, as the chief of staff said, you received your quarterly report on the grants. Obviously, we've been rocking and rolling. I want to also point out that that does not include the tens of thousands of dollars that we bring in support of Parks and Recreation, all the programming that we do there. Rather than, I want to ask first, do you have any questions about anything that's in the report? Because otherwise, rather than trying to go grant by grant, what I could do is just kind of provide a highlight of what we've been working on since I came on full time on August 1st. And once again, I could not be more appreciative of you folks deciding to fund this position because we're doing some incredible things, and I just couldn't be proud to be part of this team. So is it okay if I just give a little bit of an update about what we're working on, or do you have any questions? If you do, that's fine.
Nothing would be great.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course.
Yeah.
So right now, in fact, in partnership with Blackstone Valley Prep, we are submitting a $500,000 federal request. We are submitting that tomorrow. That will reflect a partnership between the El Centro Initiative as well as the community center that they're currently building. It is highly, highly competitive, but we have the support of the governor and other key folks, and we are putting forward the most competitive proposal that we can. The monies would be split between DVP as well as the city. We have a formal MOU that's being signed just to make sure that should it be funded, we understand where the money is being allocated. If it's funded at a different level, there'll be a percentage as far as what goes. We're working on, as you know, we have a very significant educational initiative that's happening here in the city. The Rhode Island Foundation has been extremely supportive of this initiative. We have a meeting this week with them to discuss subsequent funding and continuing this position. We'll be happy to report in, but as I said, they were the first to invest in this project. They have been very, very big supporters. They understand what we're doing. They understand the importance of this project. So we feel very strongly, while it's not etched in stone, that they will continue to support this initiative, hopefully at a higher level. Very pleased to report that, as everyone here knows, the Assistance to Firefighters Grant Program is extremely competitive, extremely. However, we have been able to reach, in the last 10 years, over $1.5 to $2 million from that program. The last couple of years, we did not receive the grant. I personally was getting a little worried about that. happy to report that we are getting a $91,000 grant. It's been formally approved with it. We got a call from Senator Reed recently. And what's great too is this $91,000 that will go towards critical equipment that the department needs, including a cardiac monitor. We were able to also put in an economic hardship waiver, so there's no match requirement whatsoever. So this is just $91,000 going into the needs of the fire department. We're also supporting the fire department on a subsequent $50,000 grant that's going through, has been approved by Rhode Island DOT. Now it's in DC as we speak. We're working with our delegation to get that pushed through, and that would be for some critical extrication equipment that they need. So we're working on that as we speak. Very happy to report, thanks to strong support of our delegation, we have 2 congressionally directed spending requests that are currently being put in front of Congress, in which, just in like subsequent years, if Congress approves, we will receive $1 million for the 3rd phase of Jenks Park, as well as another $900,000 that will come in for the police department for equipment that they need, including cruisers and some other things. And once again, what's great about these programs is that the police department, there will be no match requirement whatsoever. For the Jenks Park initiative, we already have the monies that we can leverage, so we have that match met. You don't have to worry about it. If they say yes, it's going to be approved. And once again, we are as strongly positioned as we possibly could. This is where we were in the last 3 years, which all have been approved. However, you can never guarantee these things because once again, it has to go through Congress. But we are very, very strongly positioned. To that regard, I think everybody here knows that we also last year received a $3 million congressionally directed spending investment in support of our public safety complex, which obviously we all know is in great disrepair. That $3 million now, while it's gone through Congress, the next step is you have to submit a formal application. This application is going to go through HUD. We're working with HUD as we speak to submit that thing, as well as we're looking into additional funding opportunities because we are well aware that $3 million is basically putting a Band-Aid on that structure. So we're working with our partners at FEMA as we speak on another direction that we could potentially go to bring in subsequent monies that could be very, very significant. As far as we're looking at the federal level, another relationship that we're currently working on, leveraging and growing, is with our friends over at the Economic Development Administration, who have done very significant investments here in Rhode Island, including just doing $3.2 million in Warren, some significant monies they're doing for the Narragansett Indian tribe, and we happen to have a very strong relationship with them. I supported those organizations with bringing in some of those monies and have a very strong relationship with the person that we need to know, and we're warming her up as we speak. She is very aware of what's going on here at Central Falls. She's already a fan. We want to make her an even more significant fan and really work on bringing that investment in, which once again could be very significant. What we want to do first is just have an introductory conversation with Mayor Rivera, the planning director, and myself, introduce some of the key projects that are currently happening here in the city, because what's wonderful about this person is we can have a very candid, frank relationship with her, and she can kind of steer us as far as this could be a great direction for you folks to go. This may be a project that you need to study first, and she's going to really act as a compass that we want to leverage. And that's really, as of right now, the key initiatives, the key funding, potential funding opportunities that I'm working on as we speak.
Thank you, Derek. Keep up.
Well, and once again, I really appreciate the opportunity, so thank you to each one of you for making this happen.
We do enjoy when you come, you always bring good.
Oh, well.
We definitely appreciate it.
Well, and I appreciate all of you, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, have a nice evening, Mom.
You too. So we still have a motion to approve the department reports collectively.
Oh, so moved.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion passes 5-0.
Next item under 6, new business, the city council sitting as board of license commissioners, consideration of petition of license. First, we have a Class C variety license, a Smoke Shop LLC doing business as Smoke Shop and Food Mart, 485 Dexter Street, Unit A. We have Mr. Ali Junaid here.
Hi, all.
Hello. Could you please raise your voice?
Yeah, we're just opening a store. We just opened a store. It's a small shop along with, just some packaged food and.
It's on Dexter Street.
Yes.
You live in Bridgewater, Mass?
Yeah.
Someone else gonna run the operation.
No, I'm already managing a store 7 down at 6th Street.
Oh,
So I'm here, I spend almost about $14.
You can help the movie here.
yeah. Any questions of the applicant?
I think everything is in good shape, and I want to make a motion to approve.
Excuse me, sorry.
May I, Mr. President?
Sure.
I just wanted to advise the council that you may want to discuss with the applicant, just to make sure as underage smoking has been an issue in the city, that he's prepared to make sure that no tobacco products or tobacco is sold to under the age of 21, as the state recently changed it from 18 to 21.
I guess we know about it, and as I said, I'm only managing stores, and so we're very strict about checking IDs and everything else, so.
The fact that you are, you said it is very much aware. But you won't be at the other place all the time.
No, I have my person, and he's been working at the store along with me. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Clear with that, right?
Yes.
Is there a second? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Best of luck.
Thank
you. Next item is a Class A restaurant, Class C variety license, Guatemala Grocery LLC. Doing business as Guatemala Grocery, 69 Washington Street, contact with Marisol Cisneros.
¿Y habla español?
We have a translator.
No, él es bien.
You can step to the podium with them.
So she's here representing Ms. Marisol. She's the manager. She manages the store at this location.
As everyone reviewed, the hours are 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Everyone reviewed the.
What is her name?
Yep.
Indira.
So I just want to ask the clerk about this restaurant, so you have all the paperwork and everything, all set with the Department of Health? Everything is set?
All the paperwork checks out, is in order. What she was informed that she needs to bring anything here tonight.
What I think it, I'm sorry, what I think is, just to point out exactly what Frank is saying is, someone needs to be a source safety of 75.
So she's certified.
That's on 69 Washington Street.
JJ Martin.
Okay.
That was the, that was the corner.
It is the corner. of
It is, yeah.
Sunshine at one time. Sunshine.
Yeah, that's something that's different. Okay. Sunshine is still there.
JJ.
So Solution is down there.
Just
That
now,
one
okay.
is in, that one is in the corner of before house.
Oh, right before across from the
Like,
school.
yes, like before.
Okay.
That's Phillips, before Phillips.
Which one, the JJ,
That's
former
JJ,
JJ?
JJ Market, yes.
Okay.
JJ.
Anyone else? Any further questions?
No.
You can say is, that's the one.
You have to make a motion.
Make a motion.
Motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Buena suerte.
Thank you.
Good
Gracias.
luck.
Passes.
Thank you.
Next item is a secondhand license for Greater Providence Community doing business as the Greater Providence Community, 64 Hadwin. Contact Mr. Samuel J. Lugo.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
You got your briefcase that you were authorized of?
No, I'm not, sir.
What are the hours of this event? I didn't see it on the
It
application.
should be 9 to 5, Mondays to Fridays, perhaps opening on Saturdays as well, to accommodate clients.
Yeah, Monday, it's on there at the bottom, it's Mr. President.
Okay, wait, oh yeah, it's way down, okay. That's, yeah, 64 Hackman.
64.
What is actually there now, 64 Hackman?
General warehousing?
Is that the one with the, very reflective windows and like mirrors?
Yes.
What is that now?
General warehousing?
What do you actually, I know one time you had mattresses there.
No, we just have, we are a shipping company. And also just brought in right now
Has anyone ever talked to you about the reflective mirrors?
no, they haven't.
Did you want it when they put them in?
So we spoke with the director of public works when we came in, and they agreed to it.
There is some concern, particularly at when the sun is a little either higher or lower in the sky, you don't know if that's summer or winter.
That concern was brought to the director of public works, and they brought it up to us, and we addressed it. I think our lawyer spoke to them, and the director,
Our lawyer, or?
to the director of public works, and they had approved it, so we went and we installed it.
And there is still some concern that the honest with I'm sorry.
Mr. President, I just wanted to advise the council that this property had been put into receivership by the city because of the many years that this was a nuisance property. And while the property was in receivership, the property owner then repainted the building and added the window, I don't know what you call it,
Reflection, like mirrors.
reflective mirrors, et cetera. And I did notice that for whatever reason on this application, there is no approval from fire department. And really the issue we had, because so much clothing was being stored in this building and there were significant fire department violations at the time. The fire department did ultimately give approval after they had rendered some violations. I would advise that perhaps the fire department do another round, knowing that now that customers are gonna be coming in and out, that it makes sure that it's there's fire safety, all fire safety concerns are met.
Also, you're saying there's no, do you sell mattresses?
No, we do not sell mattresses.
How long you been involved with that?
12 years.
There was never mattresses in there?
We are a shipping company.
You ship mattresses?
We are a shipping company. We are cross dockers. We also liquidators. So we have clients overseas that order merchandise. At one point in time, they might order mattresses, and other times they might order merchandise from Home Depot. We have liquidators from Home Depot, for Walmart. We have corporate accounts also with Macy's, JCPenney, and they deliver to us their excess merchandise.
Do you control what goes in and out of there? I mean, if there are anything
We place the order
flammable,
ourselves.
for example, that does come in, not necessarily mattresses, but
We are general merchandise, so at one point in time, a client desires and wishes to order mattresses and see it to our financial benefit to receive such an order. And we're not in violation of any laws on it. We're general warehousing, and we can handle the labor, we can handle the cost, and it's not a nuisance, or it's not a hazard materials, we don't deal with hazardous materials.
Yeah.
Then we do receive it if we are capable of managing the material. I think it's the general merchandise that we have, we just receive excess merchandise from Home Depot at this point in time. We do have a client that wants to rent a particular space within the building in order to create some revenue, in order to pay for the taxes.
that we, as the solicitor knows, we were quite behind many times. We have been on tax sales many times because the city of Central Falls has not allowed us to get a certificate of occupancy for over 10 years because of minor violations on floor disturbances. And now we're trying to move forward with a building to bring clients in. We brought a CNC machine, a gentleman who wants to manufacture cabinets. And he was going to bring employees into this in order to increase the labor force and to create some type of economic diversity. And here I am bringing to the town again, to the city, another customer that wants to come in and bring something similar to Savers in order to bring donations in and sell thrift store items at very low prices for a place such as Central Falls, who has been in receivership itself.
How does the city know what's in there? I
The
know
city
you
has
have
been there many times. We have
That's why I'd like to see the fire department.
Yeah, the fire
Sean, also, your loading dock is not on, it's not on cars.
I'm sorry?
Where is your loading dock?
We have 1, 2, 3 entrances on Lewis Street.
That's correct.
3 entrances on Lewis Street, which we have allocated in order to receive merchandise through there. They're large stores, they're 16 by 10s. We also have 3 doors on Hadley Street. It's quite a big building,
Yes, I
64,000.
understand, I live on Congress, but we've had a lot of complaints, we've had, we do mattresses.
Sorry, I think
Wait, I'd like to know personally what's in there, I'd like to see a fire department go in, that's one. And I still think those windows, which are basically mirrors, are a major, major problem. There's a red light right there. You go down it, I don't know what month of the year where the sun is higher or low, but when that sun hits the mirrors, you can't.
They're
even
not
see.
mirrors.
Wait a minute, they're just light mirrors. They're just light mirrors. And you can't even see that red light half the time it's heading the street. I know, the mirrors have been there a while, and I'm shocked that those mirrors were approved. That's another concern of mine, but when I saw 64 Haddon, I said, that must be the
Yeah,
big
that
one.
is a gentleman.
Yeah, and I don't wanna be difficult on you, but these are some realistic concerns.
Mr. Council President, I think you have brought that issue and that concern to the department, to the head department of your person who we're dealing with directly at the Public Works. And they address it to us, we address it to the council that we hired at the
How
point.
long ago?
This is when we were going through the receivership. And the council addressed the director of public works, they approved the windows, it's not even windows, they are plastic that we have basically put.
It doesn't matter, they reflect, whether it's a window or a piece of plastic, it reflects, when you approach that Haddon Street light, a lot of times you can't even see it, particularly, I guess the summer is even more so than the winter. But in all honesty, I'd like to see the building inspector and fire department go through that.
Okay.
And you just said you got this coming in, that, how does the city know what's coming in there? I mean, if you have something, wait a minute, if you have something flammable, hazardous,
No, we don't.
well, you're saying, no, but how do we know?
Well, we did apply for the certificate of occupancy not even a year ago. But applying to the certificate of occupancy by your records and by your standards, the mechanical needed to be approved, the electrical needed to be approved, the plumbing needed to be approved. Fire marshals went there, not on one occasion, on many occasions, as the solicitor would know. And also, they gave us quite an extensive list, because there were some issues. And we addressed every single, it took us, I think it was over 8 months or 9 months, and close to $100,000 worth of investments that we need to borrow from banks and private investors in order to make the building, accommodate the building and address the issues, because we want to rent the building. And we want to bring some type of activity to the building. The building cannot remain in the current state that it's in by not bringing any cash flows, any revenues in there. I think it's a great potential for the city to have also a plethora of different businesses potentially go in
If
here.
it's safe, I agree, if it's safe, but,
We are more than welcome, we invite
okay,
you.
well, I don't think this application is even complete, is it?
It's complete.
The fire department in?
Well,
Mr. President, I think it would be, if the council were to move in this direction, I think you could make a motion to approve contingent on the applicant providing fire department approval, building department approval, which the building department approval really is, you required anyway, to show a certificate of occupancy for retail, which is different than a certificate of occupancy for warehousing, which they have to have.
That is correct.
So you can make a motion to approve, subject to him providing the clerk with that documentation.
It's not so difficult to have the building be active and generate some type of cash flow, because whatever.
I mean, with all due respect, these are building and fire codes to prevent the loss of human life, so it's really not something that, remarks like that are really unfortunate.
That is absolutely. And then the windows are still too.
We would love to have the fire department come in and review the space where the potential fire might be going in, and address whatever issues that the building may have.
We have a building inspector.
So,
Now, the highway department, he's not a building inspector. You said he approved those windows? Is that, who approved those windows?
as far as I'm concerned, we spoke to Candy.
She's in the clerk's office, she's not.
She's in clerk, and then we went to, the city director, department director, I forgot his name. Tall gentleman.
Yeah, Gene.
Gene, yes, to Gene. Lori spoke to Gene, he said this is what we can do to mitigate the weakness of the windows that we had there. And we, spent a lot of money putting those windows in there. I know they're a little bit reflective.
Little bit.
Gene had spoke to us and he told us, listen, we spoke to a council member. And one of the council members expressed a concern.
That was,
Don't know who it was, he did mention that. He said, I spoke to them and they said, at this point in time, we will go ahead and approve those installation of those windows, as per the specs that you have applied. So we went and we have, we installed them for him. He said that your concern, it was not a topic of, they didn't buy anything. So we went and we installed over, I think, 70 windows. To make the building, beautify the building, I think everybody who passed by it, I think it's a lot cleaner now, it looks a lot better. You can attract some clients to go in there. We do have a lot of tax bills, and solicitors knows. We have been in tax sales on numerous occasions, because we've been trying to get somebody in there, and we simply can't, because it's impossible to bring somebody in.
anyone else, I said my piece, I just think this is a very, very incomplete application. That's how I feel.
What section of the application did I
I'm trying to
complete?
put you through hoops, but these are some concerns.
What part, can you enlighten me as to what part of that application I did not complete?
Well, I don't see any fire department signed off, and the building inspector, I don't know if that's in his purview, but I would think it would be. And I think everybody likes to know what's stored in there. You say different things at different times. Yeah, well, what different things? And I know one time there was mattresses in there and fire hazard. I don't know if you have any liquid in there, any chemicals. I don't know if you would, but I'm just saying, I think I think the residents should know what's in there. God forbid if something happens, that building goes up to the point where they say, who gave them the application when they had X, Y, and Z? And that's still an issue with them reflected. They're mirrors, I don't care what they're mirrors, you can see yourself in the mirror, so. look at that. That's how I feel, I was waiting, when I saw this, I said, oh wow, what's going on?
Yeah, so we were expecting.
It's not like me, I'm usually very easy to go along with, this is something
We don't serve,
really concerns me, when something I see, there's a stop sign there saying, whoa, this is something very important, I think. Yeah, but.
So, what I want to say is, they said on their statement, you say there's a little minor issues in the building, and the solicitor said there were several issues in there. I was planning to table it until the fire department go and inspect it, but based on his, what they, told us, what we can do, no, I haven't finished yet. So we can also, make a motion to approve tangible to the fire department, go to the final inspection, and then if everything is okay, then be ready. So I would like to ask the solicitor which one would be fit best, inconvenient here.
Mike, just for the photo, being logistically correct, I think the same was in past tense. He had mentioned that we were under violations, fire code violations, and also nuisance violations. And therefore the city decided to put us on receivership. We spent over $150,000 addressing the receivership, lawyering costs, accounting costs, borrowing costs, carrying, acting and so on, fixing costs. We mitigated and fixed all the problems that were enumerated in the report that we received, and went beyond that. We did structural work, we did electrical, we did everything that was required and beyond that, in order to acquire what's called now a occupancy.
Understand that, and thank you for doing all this.
Yeah, because we complied with the fire department. The fire department went there, now on one occasion, but they went there frequently to make sure that they were assessing the work they were doing, that they were approving of the progress report. We had to supply progress reports to all the lawyers involved on a weekly basis in order to get out of receivership. It took us a long time, it took us a lot of effort, a lot of energy, a lot of money, a lot of sweat and equity to get the building finally after 12 years of owning it. And after several applications that we did with the building to get the occupancy permit, I'm the owner. I wanted to house my own property in there. I was not able to. So finally, I was able to. Now we want to mitigate the cash flow outflows that we have by bringing some people in there with us. I think we don't have any issues. I think the fire department, we're up to date with every inspection that we require by law. They're more than welcome to visit. I can invite everybody in there. You might come in, anybody.
Yeah, but just based on that, and you say, and we are business friendly, so there's nothing put any how can
I
you,
got a
but
reservation.
if our solicitor recommend for us to get the fire department to do the final inspection there, so we can make a motion to put time you to that.
Oh, of course. I will accept that.
I make the
So
motion.
how would we proceed, solicitor?
If
No,
they
we
were
can
to
do it,
give,
Mr. President, I mean,
Okay, your intentions are good,
Yes.
but so am I. Safety is number one.
Of course.
Public safety in the city is number one, I want you to know that. And I still have a lot of concerns. Even the mayor is, it may sound petty, but it's not. I'm on that street every day. You get a sunny day and that light reflects, sometimes you can't see the red light. That's my concern, I'm not trying to be hard on you, yeah, we're business friendly, but I've been watching that building for a while, and what's going on in there.
Mr. President, the fire department will inspect and they will do the combination.
You can recommend it.
No, not me, the fire department, they are authorized to do that.
You can recommend approval of the fire department, I'm voting against you for approval of this tonight. I'd like to table this tonight. I'd like to.
Wait a second, I'm sorry.
I'd like to table
And
this.
even if we get this straight, but we have the same understanding between us.
Okay.
Business people, owners who pay quite a lot of taxes for the city for a lot of years. So you're saying that you will deny an application for new businesses because
Said
you.
table it.
What is it, sorry?
Table it.
What is table?
Table it means we don't act on it.
Okay, so how would that impact on the vote of us getting the application on that application if the president of the council tables his decision? Is that a nay or is that a yes?
It's a table.
it just means it'll appear on the next council agenda. What he's suggesting is that between now and then, you go get the fire and the building department's approval, come back at the next meeting, and they vote to approve it.
Contingent on those approvals.
Yes.
And then if we do get those approvals, so.
It would be on the next council agenda, so the second Monday of October.
Okay, but then if we do get the approvals, we're gonna meet whatever standards we're gonna bring the code, then we bring it before you, and what would be the sequence of events at that point in time?
Same thing as tonight.
Would it be
Your
a concern of
presentation.
yours?
My windows are a concern, but if it's not a concern of a building inspector, it's not a concern of the fire department or the police department, fine with me, but I just.
This is Major here, he can also, I don't know if you have any information about that, he can testify on that.
We've had, to my knowledge, and I would have to actually check the records, I have not had any complaints about the windows.
We are the owners, and we have the door, I come in and out, I'm friendly with every single owner of every single house on both Lewis Street and on Hudson Street.
Really?
Yes.
We'll check on
Oh, yes, I talk to them almost consistently. We have not received from Lewis Street, we have 3 doors on Lewis Street. I'm outside either painting, fixing whatever we need to do. We know the grandmothers I know. They're all friendly with us. If they had a concern, we have not received a concern. Never has the fire department, we got in the windows. So we do wish to do whatever is necessary and required by the council for the safety of the city, for the safety of the legalities of it, whatever might be the case, and come back and get the license in order to bring into the city an opportunity not only for the clients that we have, but also for those who live around the area that might benefit from receiving cheap products, like savers and donations. We have a donation center that we want to bring in here, or thrift store, clothes, for shoes that we donate to the Dominican Republic, to Haiti, and Guatemala, that we collect and we send, but we need a warehouse space in order to operate out of that. And we're trying our best. I mean, I know it's just a big building, it might be, some minor stuff, but we have addressed, to my knowledge, it's over $150,000 worth of reparations and work in order just to get the occupancy. We need to bring some cash flow in there, we need to bring the new businesses in there. So we will try our best and do what we can. So as far as I'm concerned, then all we need to do, solicitor then is to get the fire department to go visit the building, and do I need a paperwork that he needs to sign, or it's just the way he visit the building and provide you?
Yeah, you would just provide him a tour of the area in which the retail will happen, they do an inspection, then they give you an approval letter, you bring that approval letter to the clerk, you give it to the council.
And that's fine, and then do I also invite the city?
And I would invite them both at the same time, so not to waste your time.
So I'll call the city work department and
Yep.
call them and have them.
Gene no longer is with the city, but the acting director, Lisa contact.
Who's the phone? Yeah, I can think of that. And then I'll bring up, do I need to reapply for the license again? Or just be automatically placed on that? Do I need legal counsel?
Well, you're always entitled to it, but you don't need it.
And the building inspector.
Yes, building inspector and fire chief or department will visit the building, investigate and see if anything that needs to be mitigated or fixed on there before.
I will, I'm gonna talk to the police department, see if we've had any problem with the reflection.
He just said it.
He said we did.
To my,
To his knowledge.
like I said, to my knowledge, I do not know. I can do the research and get back to you tomorrow.
Thank you, thank you.
Personally, I think is, I mean, I don't want him to think like we against, business, that's not personal. I think is, the reflection in the window, I think we should probably just look at it, I don't think we're gonna do the big issue personally. I mean, especially if he said no complaint about it, and I understand how you feel about it, but, probably gonna have to look at it, I don't think you're gonna do the big issue personally.
Mr. President. Yes, I wanna make a motion to approve tangible to the fire department, go do the inspection and do the final approval. That's the motion I put on the table. There's no reason to make this gentleman to come here, waste time while we can move that on and that.
I think there's a reason to table while we look at.
The fire department will inspect it. It's based on that.
Make the motion.
The motion is made already.
I'll second the motion.
Do we need a third or fourth?
No, we gotta vote on it.
Roll call vote.
Councilman Kazarian?
Yes.
Councilman Figueroa?
Yes.
Councilman Solano?
Yes.
Councilman Lorland?
Yes.
And Councilman Ferry?
No.
Motion passes 4-1.
So that's now based on the fire department gonna do the final approval. If that pass, you all set. You don't have to come back here.
Oh, thank you so much, appreciate it. And I recommend out of this, in business for 20-something odd years, in the business of Lake, tourism, Providence, we have restaurants in Providence, we have international business. I think that the livelihood, the future of the city lies in business.
It always that, so.
You have to be friendly and welcome. We have, or I think if I'm correct, we have over 30,000 square feet in the first floor. We're trying to make sure that we have industries that come into there, manufacturers that would give jobs to the locals, that could facilitate, products and make Central Falls, a city like it was before. It was a manufacturing city. was friendly to international businesses, friendly to everything else.
We understand that. I
It seems
understand
to
it well.
not-
I understand it well. I've been in the
My
city all my
personal
way.
experience, it has been.
So long as it's a safe business,
Clearly,
that's all I'm saying. We all love business.
We shall bring
So
them back.
long as the business is safe to the residents of the city of Central Falls. Safety is number one.
So now make sure.
Best of luck.
The next item on the agenda is an entertainment permit, Mujeres Positivas Inc., 63 Valley Street, contact is Ms. Shirley Castellanos. Need a translator?
Mujeres positivas.
Council President, I'm recusing myself because I'm not, member of
Okay.
Mujeres Positivas, and I'm in charge of the walk.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll be standing next to
Okay.
Shirley.
Cool.
Yeah, no, I'll do that. Thank you.
No, what?
No, because I can't speak English,
Why
So
do
you
you
have the
do?
board.
but, yeah, I'm with her. Okay. So,
This is a one-day event?
yes,
Yeah.
it's the regular walk is September 28th. Shirley Castellanos, she's our president, and then I'm the organizer of the event.
Thank you for doing that for a long time.
Is it six, right? Yes.
6 years.
Number six.
God willing, I'll be there.
So she wants to explain, what is Mujeres Positivas first. I know a lot of people know, but I want, to refresh who is Mujeres Positivas.
Mujeres Positivas es una non-profit donde nos enfocamos en ayudar a las mujeres sobrevivientes de cáncer en el estado de Rhode Island.
So Mujeres Positivas is a non-profit that we are in Rhode Island, and we support people, the community with any type of health, and including cancer.
La verdad, hacemos charlas durante todo el año para concientizar a esa comunidad lo importante que es la salud.
So to raise awareness about health, we do workshops during the whole year for the community. It's free for the community.
Y hacemos diferentes eventos como Caminata por la Vida, la Feria de la Salud, el Día de la Mujer, el Desayuno Rosado, donde conmemoramos siempre las mujeres que son sobrevivientes y las familias, las madres, las hijas.
So we do different type of event during the year. So in October is the pink breakfast for survivors, women that are fighting or survivors of cancer, or breast cancer. We do the community health fair for Mujeres Positivas. We do the Walk for Life, and so many events.
I see no cause, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful work that you do.
So we encourage that everybody goes there and walk with us around the city.
What time?
Is that 9?
19.
And right now it's at 29.
Yeah,
I know that already. I read it.
I may need to go.
9 a.m. start and ending for 12:30.
I may need an electric scooter or a.
You need your red shoes. That's what you need. You see the red shoes. So we encourage and invite the community and share.
Wonderful.
All the events.
Is there a motion?
Yes, so moved.
Motion by Rafael, Rafael to approve. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Have a walk.
Aye, best of luck.
Algún día. Thank you.
It's gonna be a
Motion
nice
passes
sunny day.
4-0 with one recusal. The next item on the agenda is a mobile food establishment. They've been asked to come in to discuss their hours of operation. Sabor y Sabor Manina LLC, doing business as Sabor y Sabor Manina, 37 Phoenix Street, Ms. Luza Costa. I don't believe she's here.
We could table it, or, I mean, I don't know how much longer they're gonna be operating anyway with the weather, but I'll look for a motion to table this. Anyone make a motion to table this?
She came the last time.
She was here, you might have to.
She was here, and she might have to, we saw her through the window, through the doors.
Put it on next agenda, if you wish, if they want to table it.
Need a motion to table.
That's the one on the Broad Street, it's already there.
But she's already there.
It's on Broad Street.
Yeah,
That's
she's
the
in
one.
Broad Street, in front of Jen's Park here.
Yes, sir.
Few people had something.
Is there a reason to table it?
There's no reason because they came, they
So,
came.
if I
I
may,
guess
she
they
was,
changed the
they were
hours.
approved, years ago. There was some question about their hours of operation.
Yes.
So the council said, we looked into it with the charter, and it says that they can be open till 1, but there were some concerns that, the hours of operation might be too late and disturbing the residents around the area, because they've been filing complaints with the city. So Councilman Ferry thought it would be wise to invite them in to discuss their hours of operations at some boundaries.
Okay, and also, I wonder, one of the problems we thought was the noise from the generator. One of the majors here, and we don't feel that it hit the level where it was a nuisance. Thank you, Major.
Yes, that was one of the complaints I received from a resident across the street.
Generator.
That was the noise. And the parking, people parking on the wrong side of the street, going across the street to get something, but I don't know if that's an issue, if that's still an issue or not. But over here, she has 8:30 now, is that the new time that she will be, closing?
No, initially that's what she put on there, because she wasn't aware that she would stay open till 1.
Okay.
Because they have, I remember they have 2 days here, but they also have some days during the week in Pawtucket with the same charge.
Yes.
I think we cleared up any questions that a few of the residents may have. I have concerns down the road for all the units to be on Broad Street and Dexter Street, because Dexter has other businesses too. And those streets are stage used to technically 90% of all the streets. So down the road, it's got nothing to do with this applicant. It's just maybe something to look into down the road as far as where we allow mobile units or trucks. Anyone else? I see no problem in going further, we just leave it as is. Anyone else? Move on to the next item.
So if you wanna move on, we're gonna do this, one table?
Are we gonna table it or go and pass it?
I think we just let it go.
It doesn't want to take action.
No action, good word, 2 words. Anyone else? Kevin, you satisfied?
Yeah, that's fine.
Next item under new business is B, consideration of tax abatement submitted by the tax assessor.
That's the thing.
Hi. How you doing? Good, yourself? Well, I think that you know what you're doing, and that the reasons behind every one of these, and there's many of them. Any questions of the reasons why, and the number that we have? Gentleman's right here.
So this abatement is because of they are 10 years old, or was
No, so, this past year, the state passed a new $50,000 exemption that applies to all tangible. Now, luckily, last year, we had applied a $20,000 exemption, so all of those easily went from 20 to 50. But in the new tax software we have, if the exemption was created prior to the tax item being put on, it didn't apply the exemption. It was on the account, but it didn't actually deduct the money. And that was missed until people started questioning why they received bills when they felt they should be exempt. We looked into it, and this was the full list of people who should have received that $50,000 state exemption and did not. Now, the good news is, while there's a decent number here, I've already checked with the state, and I will be able to amend our certification, and all of this will be getting reimbursed by the state. So we're not out any of this money.
That's great. Good, thank you. while you're looking into that, do you find me like you have to reimburse me something? So I would pay as well. No, you didn't find me?
No.
Then make it.
He's gonna look harder.
Huh?
He's gonna look harder.
Okay.
Motion to approve collectively.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Have a motion by Councilman Solano to approve the abatements collectively.
Did you second that?
Yes.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
That was quick, that was quick.
Quick and easy.
Thank you.
Next item under C is consideration of settlement and release agreement between the city of Central Falls and Mr. Jamie Yips and Mauricio Canessa.
Mr. President, thank you. You may recall that this council had authorized a settlement for a different $30,000 with the contractor, Mr. Luis Alzate, aka GR Machina Construction. This is another $30,000 that the city will be receiving from the property owners. In total of $60,000, we already have a judgment for over $100,000 against the engineering company who was supposed to ensure the safety of the wall, bringing the total damages collected to date of $160,000, which the city intends to use to fix the wall and make sure that it's safe for generations to come. And the law department recommends this.
Is that anyone? No, sorry.
No, I was saying. No question.
Is there a motion to approve this?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Councilman Terry, Councilman Solano, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Motion passes 5-0. The next item under D is a petition of Narragansett Electric and Verizon New England Inc. for a joint or identical pole location installed new jail P6-50 Conduit Street.
Everyone review?
Yes.
Motion to approve.
And 99% of the time, anytime in Narragansett wants to do something, they like to do something. There's no reason not to say no or something. Anyway, we have a motion by Frank to approve. Second by Raphael. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Chair votes aye.
Motion passes 5-0. The next item on the agenda, under item 7, is schedule of bills, hearings, and of consideration. Under A is an ordinance regarding taxation of properties owned by the Central Falls Redevelopment Agency. First reading. Carried by request.
Anyone? Yes. Have you reviewed it?
Yes. It's on the motion.
Thank and no one signing for it.
If we have some comments, may I sign up? You forgot to
On this item?
Shoot.
On this item,
No, there's no item.
next item?
That be noise ordinance.
Yeah, that's the next.
Next one.
You have a sign?
Yeah, next one you do it. You can
So
do it.
let's say we're looking,
Any one of you, write it up.
Frank, we're looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
By Councilor Terry.
Second.
By Councilor Solano, roll call
Councilman Kazarian?
Yes.
Councilman Figueroa?
Yes.
Councilman Rosado Martinez?
Yes.
Councilman Solano?
Yes.
Council President?
vote. Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. Next item on the agenda is an ordinance amending the noise ordinance regarding weekend enforcement. First reading, Solano Biennial.
You sign it.
Now you can sign it.
Sir, if you can fill this out.
My name is Alfonso Diaz Avido, from the 69 Division Street. No, I just reading the proposal ordinance to amend it, the ordinance for noise. I find very well explained, especially the articles to amend it. I don't know the original law, like before in the last audience, on the last hearing, we didn't check it. I didn't check in the entire old ordinance. This amendments for, in this case, is okay. The only question or concern is in section number 1 about the fees. When talking about 100 for the first violations, 200 for the second one, and 500 for the third one. When I see this one, it's not easy to better to apply on the third time for the same person doing this. Why to some court or so? Because I see here is also applicable. People can appeal for the decisions, maybe the first or second or third. But the third one talk about 500. I see the third one like to a creation of a taxation anyways, which is okay to try to prevent the noise what we say in the last hearing we are not agreed for the total imposed of the what I say canceling noise in the city. My question first is if that's their violation, it doesn't mean it's going to be more serious. In the case some people appeal and restart again 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3. But this is just my question about it. And another one about the education. I discussed with another person here about the way how educate the people. We thinking because like over here is explained police and public fire department shall conduct some education and sign ahead for the information. I think we needed some time, frame time, to educate the community itself. Like you say in the last hearing, some families, they don't know this one, they're gonna get the $100 right away because they don't know. So it's another way to get spread the voice or get a free time or education before starting to import, because in here say, if today you approve this one, is standard to be applied, especially the fees. So it's possible to get a free time in order to get the education to the families. Like if you do a lot of education campaigns for crime and everything, this one requires true good education. In here is not to allow the people say, no, I don't like this law, so no. It's the people know if sometimes the police comes or they stop your car or whatever, they say, I don't know. The visitors is another story. They don't live in the city, maybe they read the sign that they don't care because in the past they do it and nothing happened. But for the residents, maybe they needed free time to get education through this. And we are having a very good time because summer is ended and we get a lot of activities. I don't know what ways you can use to spread the voice. Myself, I have a media. Central Coast City never use my newspaper to spread the news, only the website. Everything I know of the city is the website. People blame me because if I work in Spanish media, I have to responsibility to spread the voice to the community. So I am open to any department of the city. So therefore, send me the releases like they do. I receive several releases. So at this point, they can send it to, and this one, and maybe we can put in this September issue. If it's approved, then we help with that. I know it's different to advertisement, no, I do as a community information campaign, okay? But I just ask you have another way separate to the fire department or the police to sign it in the city. And we can do more than that. That's just the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just a few months. Oh, citizen.
Good evening. My name is Gloria Rubio and I'm a resident of the city. I live in 128 School Street. And reading, I totally oppose to this ordinance of law because it shouldn't be only between hours of 11 p.m. and 6 p.m. It should be during the time. As you all know, and I think that we all have families and neighbors that work, from home. There is teachers, there is, kids learning from home, and this is not acceptable. I've been last time here and I spoke, and I told you, how the residents of school district feel and how we've been suffering, from the noisy neighbors. And I don't know, I'm totally opposed to this ordinance. And if you approve this ordinance, I think that it's not going to be, good for our neighborhood. That's all I want to say. I'm totally opposed to this ordinance. And I think that you should consider of amending this and instead of, this time, it should be every day. I mean, all day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there a motion on the floor?
Yes. So I do wanted to base it on the administration doing some research and buying some equipment to measure the noise and also to educate the police in how to enforce this ordinance. I'm gonna make a motion to table this ordinance until further notice will be next year. And we're gonna have some feedback from the chief of staff now. Please.
Council President, if I may, just add a little bit more context to what Councilman.
Oh, we got a second the first and vote on it? Okay.
Second discussion.
I motion to table it until next year. Yeah. Thank you.
Now should I? Okay, sorry. Just add a little bit more context to what Councilman Solano said, both for the council and for interested constituents. When this ordinance was initially introduced in July, it wasn't introduced in coordination with the city, but as is the prerogative of council, they had the ability to work with the city solicitor to introduce an ordinance. And what I stood up and said at the time was the city wasn't taking a position on this, but I committed over the course of the summer recess to working with the proposers, along with other interested members on council, myself, Colonel Roberson from the police department, and several different groups of council members met several times over the summer. And the compromise that we arrived at was that we would table, basically stop this motion, this ordinance as currently proposed. But at the same time, the city's police department is going to work to buy equipment, decibel readers, right? Which is something that we see happening in both Providence and Newport, which has been successful there. And at the same time, introduce within our police department a training protocol for for those things, right? And once we acquire those things, which we're in the process of doing, we are going to work with either this council or the new council that's elected in November to basically build what we would call an objective standard, right? So basically where you can measure the noise, right? And this is something that the police department is in favor of because right now in the noise ordinance as written, it's subjective. Nobody knows what's loud and what's soft, right? What's legal and what is illegal, what's too loud and what isn't loud enough for. So basically, once we buy this equipment, which we are committed to do, we're going to work again with the council, have there be a public participation option, with the goal that by next summer, we introduce a new noise ordinance with an objective standard that is different than what you have here, where we basically start to measure what is too loud and what isn't. So this noise ordinance with the motion the council, Councilman Solano has introduced would be tabled and not move forward as is.
By the way, you mentioned it on the last hearing, which was very clear for me, very important. And you say it's good to compare many cities, small cities,
yes,
including cities, because you're the Central Falls tourist city.
Mm-hmm.
Get some districts, specific areas.
Yeah.
Especially because Central Falls has 62% of the businesses.
Yeah.
Not just entertainment, not all entertainment, but 62% of business on Blaston Valley are in Central Falls.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean needed different considerations than because of climate, needed also education, blocks,
yeah,
needed, like you say, establishes some specific blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Because if some blocks have business, like you say, needed some more consideration.
Yeah.
We're gonna do. For example, in last Saturday we have a festival, the true festival, the anti-car festival, car show. Some businesses was started by the police to get some noise, some music on the street. By what we was on the car show. So timing and a specific event, like the ordinance say, try to get a special permit.
Yeah.
Also what kind of noise they can do on the car show or summer show or whatever on the street, say Broad Street or say this the street. Because the festival doesn't happen in the surrounding streets.
Yep.
Even we can get the same noise on the parks. So do you think that that's probably because you're, let you say, compare with another city, which is important too for protect, like you say, businesses who need to use facility?
Part of what the council members that I have discussed this with and the administration's perspective is that there's a lot more nuance, a lot more details than we can add. Right now, it's a very simple noise ordinance, right? And that's part of the problem a little bit. And while I don't want to make specific commitments about what we will decide, we are committed to working and trying to produce a noise ordinance come next summer that is much more refined than what we have right now. And I don't want to commit to specific things, but the administration has made a commitment to council members, and the council members that we've talked with have also asked for there to be some type of public input process so that we can basically slowly start to work through all these details over the coming months, and then by next summer, which is really when a noise ordinance is most important, that we can introduce a really thoughtful piece of legislation. And like I said, the police department has been closely involved in these negotiations up to this point, and they're supportive of where we've landed. The council is supportive of tabling this, eliminating these proposals, and then everybody's going to come together to try to produce something more nuanced and thoughtful for next year.
Yeah, but I also want to make it clear that as the people, we as the president of the city have the right to celebrate some event as well as a business owner. For example, my son was deployed. I don't know where the heck my son is right now, defending our freedom. And nobody want to tell me that when my son coming back, I cannot celebrate in my house and put my music because somebody feel like they want to sleep or they want to study. So I have the right to celebrate that my son is defending our freedom, the one that we have here in the United States, and that costs a lot. So we have the right also to celebrate and do some type of celebration, not in a club, not in our, but in our houses.
But Mr. Solano, I disagree with you because
Yeah.
your rights end.
Okay, we don't have to discuss now. That is table, and that's fine, but I would just want to make that clear.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
We
you.
have a motion to table.
Thank you.
Yep. A roll call vote.
Councilman Kazarian?
Yes.
Councilman Solano?
Yes.
Councilman Figueroa? Council President?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0. Council President, I'd like to acknowledge that Councilperson, Rosado Martinez had to exit the meeting. Next item under 8 is hearing and consideration of claims. We have Mr. Pedro Perez of 198 Cross Street, Central Falls, with the claim of $300. Mr. Perez?
Motion.
Councilman Solano tables with a second. Second by Rafael. All those in favor of the table, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, so table.
Motion passes 4-0. Next item under hearings and consideration of claims is Ms. Keisha L. Rodriguez of 311 Central Street. Rodriguez?
Hi, good evening. Bring it down. Hello. I see you hit it right.
Yeah, so, one morning my husband woke up, I'm a school teacher, so I was just at home and he woke up and he went to go to work. And my car was shattered and kind of like in place, it had like a small crack. And the street workers were doing a great job cleaning the streets, it looked great. But my car, was broken, and so we asked our landlord, for the camera, and it looked like on camera that I don't know what the machine is called,
Yeah.
but the machine hit, a rock and the rock.
I have just one question. Do we have a report from the highway department?
Mr. President, I did speak to the Highway Department's acting director, and he indicated that they do weed whacking between the hours of 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. And that it's, while they don't have specific knowledge of this, it is conceivable that this would have happened.
You also have pictures, I see.
Yeah, picture is also a police report, there you go.
Has everyone reviewed the claim?
I did the claim, and I'm sorry, and the only thing that I noticed is that the requesting amount that we're requesting is above the city allow according to the policy we have and solicitor compensation.
Councilman, that limit is only for potholes.
Oh,
So other types of damage are not subject to that limit.
Kevin?
I thought I saw, I have a report where you said a CF City cleaner, but then you said you saw a video and it was a landscaping company? Is it a different?
I
is
believe
it-
they have like the highlighter shirts with, Central Falls.
Okay, yeah, so I wanted to see if you were both the same, because it was a little, I didn't understand it quite well. Thank you for explaining that. No, that's fine, thank you.
I think your explanation was.
I wish we have,
Sorry.
all the printed.
Looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor on approving, this claim, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
That's the line. Sorry for you.
It's okay.
Next item is Ms. Patricia Flanagan of 250 Ranch Street, Central Falls, for a claim of $3,000. Flanagan?
Hi, how are you?
2 weeks ago. And she just, rented a hospital for a cat. And the sidewalk was cracked, was cracked.
And I didn't see it. And he was a witness, and he was other witnesses. And I was quiet, and I was hurt bad. I certainly was.
And someone called for it.
Yeah, someone called. 2 people too. And I had to tell them to get up. I'm going up to my arm to make sure that I it does hurt bad, really bad. And me and my dad said that if I go, that to make a complaint about that, that came from her. And go by what she said.
Okay, again, sorry, do we have a report from highway on that?
Mr. President, as this matter exceeds the city's deductible of $2,500, the claim was referred to the interlocal trust, and Ms. Flanagan did present to the clerk tonight response from the trust that they had sent to her, asking her for additional information for them to provide an investigation of their claim. So at this point, the law department would recommend a referral to the trust, and then they can work with Ms. Flanagan on the claim.
Looking for a motion to refer to this local.
So moved.
Second by, Carol. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Best of luck. I'm sure you'll be hearing from Interlocal. Solicitor said you already got something. And sorry for that happened.
Hopefully you get better with this.
Take care. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for waiting. Running a little late. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
You too.
Motion passed. Next item on the agenda is Mr. Gregorio Morales, 61 Paramount, Central Falls, Rhode Island. Paying amount $16,600.
Because of a clerical mistake that I'll take responsibility for, the translator will normally be here for 2 hours, but this first day he was only here for 1 hour. Do we have somebody that can translate on behalf of?
I can do it.
Would you be willing?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Estoy aquí porque nueva construcción que están haciendo el 11 y por la violación que hace la casa se está rompiendo, viene un cambio de seguridad que tiene que recibir el equipo.
Okay, so they're doing construction, on Lonsdale, and I guess the vibration from the equipment is causing part of the structure where it looks to collapse. So he was told to come before you and, discuss his grievance.
Okay, before we go any further, I don't think it's in the city's purview. I think the insurance company or the contractor should be concerned rather than the city of Central Falls. Is that correct, Matt? I would guess that contractor would have insurance that's doing the work. Central City is not doing the work over there. It's a private contractor.
No, yo sé, pero tenía, por eso que estoy aquí, tengo una idea clara de todo.
Yeah, that he was told that's the reason that he came before you, was because he was told originally to come before you.
Who told you that?
Mr. President, as the claim is for $16,600 and exceeds the deductible, the law department would recommend a referral to the interlocal trust, who will then coordinate with the general contractor, Great Builders at the high school, and ask this gentleman for claim information, and the trust will ensure that there's a timely response.
It's out of our hands.
And I would just add that you know, because of the condition of the soil, there was a lot of pile driving of concrete that had to happen on the site. And we're sensitive to the property owners around the high school and, you know, appreciate his concern and his comment.
We heard a motion to refer.
Yes.
We have a motion by Councilman.
Second.
By Frank Thomas. Refer to our into the trust of this matter.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda.
We have to go on? We have to go on,
No,
yeah?
we referred to these
Yeah.
local trusts.
That's it.
Well, we do need a,
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We look for a motion to adjourn. So moved. Motion carried by Councilman Barr. Second. Second by Raphael. At 7:50. Thank you.
7:34.